drills to the end zone, has a receiver, touchdown West Virginia.
Tony Mathis gets West Virginia on the board.
Chase Harlow with 90 seconds to go.
And welcome to week 13 of the PRT Boys podcast. I'm your host, Quinn Robie, alongside
Griffin Harper.
And I'm Andrew Hartlove.
Camden is not with us today. We're recording on Wednesday.
He's in the hospital.
Don't say that. Come on. We're recording on Wednesday today. He has rec basketball today, so we usually try to record on either Tuesday or Thursday, but we wanted to get this episode out because last week we didn't have an episode.
Tell him why.
We literally decided in like a day to go to Pittsburgh and let's go to a hockey game. So that's why there was no episode last week. I'm sorry. We'll excuse it as a mental health day to go have fun with the boys. We'll say it that.
We can...
Even though Camden didn't go.
Camden didn't go. We're sorry, Camden. You can come next time.
Give a quick round of applause for Camden.
Yeah. We miss you, Camden.
Thanks for being a good sport.
But, tonight, it's a big night in Morgantown.
There.
The Mountaineers are in Lubbock, Texas, to take on the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. But they just dropped a game to the Longhorns of Texas.
But it was close.
It was close. Like I've said, this team is right there, man. They're right there. They're right at the hump. They just gotta make some foul shots and some other things to really get them going. But I mean, on every other end of the basketball, they're playing great basketball. You just can't. The reason why they lost to Texas is they tied their season high in turnovers at 20. You can't turn the ball over 20 times in the Big 12 and win a basketball game. But they shot 74% from the free throw line, which
that's phenomenal
for them. Is good for them. So we're just going to recap a little bit of the Texas game, and then we'll talk Texas Tech, and then we're going to talk the Big 12 SEC Challenge that I know Griffin is very excited for. Auburn comes to town, 15th ranked Auburn, which
Bruce
the last
Pearl.
15.
Bruce Pearl's coming.
You know last week's 15th ranked team. Or no, they were 14th. I'm sorry, TCU was 14th. They came.
They went down.
They came to the Collie. They went down. So something could happen. You never know. I don't know. This team, they're right there. I don't know if you all agree with me, but they're right there.
Like, come on. We were like, what? We were within 10 of Texas, right? It was like, what, 68?
69, 61 was the final score.
And I'm pretty sure Texas was like, what, 8th? If I'm correct?
In the country?
Yeah.
7th.
Yeah, 7th. That's even better. If you're within 8 of number 7 in the country, you're doing something right.
I mean,
like you're doing something right, 100%.
So what's got to happen? Keidrian Johnson, he's got to make his free throws. He was 7 for 11, but he also had 22 points to back it up, though. I mean, he was 3 for 5 from 3-point range and 6 for 9 from field goal range. So he had that to back it up. We need Eric Stevenson to get his swagger back. It's slowly coming back.
Gone for weeks.
It's slowly coming back. It peaks itself.
Who did we play before? No, TCU. I would say when we were playing TCU, Eric Stevenson, his swagger was back during the first half. The second half was a little shaky for at least from my perspective, but he was there. His presence was there, and he wanted everyone to know that he's back, and he's not.
He's still here.
He's back to a certain extent.
I get what you mean.
He's still working on it, but he's coming back. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is he's not going anywhere just yet.
No, he's not.
So,
and he won't be going anywhere. I mean, it's rightfully so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, if you're within 8 of a top 10 team, you're obviously doing something right. So maybe firing, what was it, the offensive coach, defensive coach, something like that. A few weeks back, it was definitely the right move.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was sort of expecting to be smacked by TCU, but both these games have been astronomically good. So I am decently surprised with the Mountaineers' performance these past few weeks.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they just got to make their free throws. They can't be getting foul trouble either. But Texas Tech is not going to be an easy team. Texas Tech is last place in the Big 12.
I'm sorry.
But like we've noticed, though, every game in the Big 12 is not, I mean, their record, they may be 0-7 in the conference, but they're 10-9.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's fair.
So,
I shouldn't be laughing at that.
this game, ESPN has Texas Tech winning, but that's also because they're at home. So Texas Tech is going into this game as 3-point favorites, 3.5-point favorites. I think if West Virginia does, I think if they stay out of foul trouble and they make their foul shots at the line, I think they're going to be okay. I think Eric Stevenson, maybe he can use this as a chance to get going.
Eric Stevens.
If he gives this as a chance to get his swagger back, this team could be very dangerous coming down the line because it's not like college football where you have to win your games to go to the postseason. In college basketball, you just have to win in the conference tournament, and
Right.
you know.
Well, you got to be decent during the season, which we're not doing.
No, but we still have quality wins, which
Yeah.
is good. That's keeping us up there.
There are
And our
quality
losses
wins, but
are
we
all
need to
quality
keep-
losses, you know.
Yeah.
We need to keep it going.
I would be concerned if the teams that we lost to were like those teams before the conference play. You know what I mean?
Like if we lost
Yeah.
to Navy, that would have been pretty.
Yeah,
detrimental.
that would be but like these teams are all pretty much ranked. I mean, Texas Tech, yeah, they may be 10-9. They could still be a ranked team and win. You know what I mean?
It's true.
I mean, we beat TCU, and then TCU goes and beats Kansas by what, 20
Yeah.
the other night? I mean, the Big 12 is absolutely insane for college basketball.
100%.
It's crazy.
Like, come on, you got Kansas, Kansas State, WVU, which is maybe not the best right now, but historically a basketball school. Am I
Yeah.
correct? And then just overall, I think it's just a quality
Yeah.
basketball conference.
I don't know. These games can go anywhere. Like, if you're the person that likes to bet money on games, I would not do the Big 12 at all.
I wouldn't bet any Big 12.
I would not bet
No.
any Big 12 games because, I mean, the chances of you losing money, I feel like are more greater than you getting money back. So, I don't know.
Games can flip on a dime.
I mean, really. So, tonight will be interesting. They tip off in exactly 59 minutes from when we're recording this. So,
They do.
It is 6-1.
we're going to try to wrap this up in about an hour because that's what we're going to do. We're going to
Let's
watch
not
this.
talk about the Eagles then.
No, we are going to talk about NFL playoffs.
Goddamn right.
Hey, yeah.
Hey,
You
what?
know, no GD.
Well, actually, you know what?
That's
You know what?
worse than the F word.
You can't say, dude. We want to air this on the radio. You can't be cussing.
True. That's true.
Yeah, so you got to hold that back, okay?
Don't yell at me.
It's okay, buddy.
Don't touch me.
So, no more of that. Capiche?
Shush.
All right.
Capiche.
So I'm changing. We were playing golf, but it's over
We
now.
were playing golf, yes.
Pretty much
We were
over.
playing golf. We actually played golf on Friday.
We
That was
did.
fun.
We did. We went to. Okay.
Here-
So we went to the Pens
Yeah.
game, right? The Penguins won. What was the final score? 4-2? 4-2?
Was it
Or
4-1?
4-1?
I think it was 4-1 or 4-2.
It was one. Yeah, I know they
Hold
scored
on.
4 points
Hold on, who did they?
or 4 goals.
Who
Sorry,
did
not
they play?
points.
They played.
Played Ottawa.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah. So they played the Senators. It's really, really awesome. My first NHL game.
4-1.
So they won 4-1. And then we're driving down. Shout out to our buddy Jonathan. He was like, "Y'all want to go to Topgolf?" I'm like,
I'm the one who asked that.
"Oh, was it you?"
And then he's the one who agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Andy was like, "Sure, why not?" And I'm sitting there thinking, "Okay, I need sleep, but at the same time, I really want to go to Topgolf." So we went to Topgolf. Here's a nice hack for you: you want to go to Topgolf, but you don't want to spend all the money. Just don't get the food. It's only like $15 when we split it down, the 4 of us, for the hour.
And
So
honestly, that was as enjoyable as if you had food.
yeah, it really wasn't that bad.
Water for free.
Yeah, water. So it was good.
And I had to buy a lifetime membership, even though I probably won't go back for another 2 years.
Yeah, but then it's there. I mean, you know.
But still, it's
Use
a
it.
lifetime membership,
Yeah.
so you can go back. As long as you don't die.
What does the
you're
lifetime
fine.
membership entail?
You don't
Nothing.
die?
Nothing really.
Then why do I have that?
Basically,
That's
a
ridiculous.
lifetime membership is if you pay
There was no
once,
choice
and
to
that's
not
it.
do it, so you had to do
You're
it.
the one who did it for me.
Yeah, there was no choice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's fine.
it's not like I scammed you or anything. Like, come on.
Yeah, but it was fun. I was nuking them.
Yeah, and then I came back from 0 to hero because I was using the women's.
I
clubs.
popped my ankle out of place. That hurt really bad. Let me tell you that. I woke up.
I was looking back at the videos of me, and in the background, I hit the one ball, and you can hear Jonathan in the background. He goes, Jesus.
I woke up the next morning. My ankle hurt so bad.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hadn't swinged a golf club in since I left to move up here.
That's sad.
But anyways,
We gotta pick a place to go golfing. We do.
yeah.
Mountaineer golf.
Either
is
way.
okay, I think.
Either way, the Mountaineers still play Texas Tech tonight. Hey Griff,
I'm looking.
talking about the Eagles, baby.
This is beautiful.
We'll get there later. We will get there later. That is on my
Don't bring it
agenda.
up if you don't want to get me
It is
started.
on my agenda. So, and I feel like the same thing that they have to do for Texas Tech is going to go with Auburn. I mean, really, I feel like that they can beat Auburn. Actually, ESPN has them with a 60% chance to
It
win.
is doable.
They just have to make their free throws. If they make their free throws, we're going to be okay. and we're going to be okay down the stretch. So I'm really just, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens these next 2 games. We'll find out tonight what happens. Yeah, I don't know.
Move there by Griffin.
I just think,
Tape's over.
thank God.
Yeah, that's a
great
move.
I don't know. But West Virginia make their free throws. They got to play good defense. They got to force turnovers, not turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
They do that, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. They've been making their free throws the last 2 games.
Gotta make more.
But I agree. Actually, on the season, we are shooting. Oh, it doesn't tell me.
No. That's fair enough.
Come on now. Tell me.
Coach
Statistics.
Bob gotta get the guys in check.
Bob's got to get his guys check. I will fairly agree with that one. We are shooting 69.9% from the line on the year. That's got to get up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But
still,
really,
Texas Tech is a very winnable game. We just need to.
So is Auburn. Every game is winnable that we have on our schedule.
I mean, yeah, that's true. There's
Except
none.
for Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse.
TCU won in Allen Fieldhouse, though.
That's true.
It's the Big 12. There is, I mean, teams are even winning in the Coliseum. Like, you can win anywhere. It's I don't know, and I don't know. I'm stumbling here because that's all I can say is they just got to make their free throws. That's all this team needs to do.
I know.
They make their shots.
It's that one little
Except
degree.
Stevenson.
Okay, but
Stevenson just needs to not be Shaq.
he's got to get his swagger back, and I hope tonight's his opportunity to get it back. So we'll see. Hopefully, we can go on here next week and just praise Eric Stevenson.
That'd be great.
That's what I hope.
I would love to praise Eric Stevenson, but concerned.
I mean, to be fair, we were all praising a guy by the name of JT Daniels for a good few weeks.
I never praised JT Daniels.
I did, and then I left that church.
He looked good. He looked good there at the
Nico
beginning.
or Garrett.
But anyways, let's talk a little bit for a couple minutes about some things going on down there at Milan Pushkar of Neil Brown and what he's doing. So he has just recently brought in a new coach who, do you all know who Bill Stewart is?
I've heard of him, yes.
He was the coach after Rich Rod. Mm-hmm. He has now brought in his son, Blaine, who coached at Pittsburgh Steelers. So Blaine is now the tight ends and receivers coach, or maybe just the tight ends coach. I don't know. They're still trying to sort all that out with Chad Scott getting promoted. Mm-hmm. So he brought him in, which is going to be good because Neil talked he had a press conference this week. The only thing Neil said that Blaine has to learn is how to recruit because he's never coached at the college level.
Right.
So, but I think that could be good recruiting-wise and, playing-wise. So we'll see what happens there. Garrett Green is currently training right now at somewhere, don't know where, with a quarterback coach. I saw it on Twitter. So he's currently training, getting prepared for next season. Still don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be. And I've watched a little bit of tape on the freshman, Sean Boyle. You could even probably throw him in the mix, except they're not going to because he is a freshman. But you could throw him into the mix for the starting job as well.
If we end up playing Towson or Harvard Community
He'll
College,
play. He'll play. Yeah, he'll play. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So yeah, right now only 8 enrollees have enrolled, and you have a couple more that have that have signed but have yet to
commit or
that have yet to enroll. And one of those is Rodney Gallagher, but that is because he's playing his high school basketball season.
Right.
So that's valid.
And I think Neil had a lot of flack for that. Or no, he was getting a lot of flack for that.
Mm-hmm.
But Neil came out
and said, I told him to play his senior year. Griffin's not even paying attention.
They were talking about the Eagles on TV. Give me a second.
He was
Neil.
hypnotized, I'm sorry.
They were bashing Neil. Why is Rodney not here? Is he going to decommit? No, he's not decommitting. Neil told him to play his high school senior season because Neil doesn't want him years down the road to feel like he missed that opportunity.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, I think that was a very honorable thing to do.
Yeah.
That's a senior year of high school. That's a pretty big year for any athlete. Really.
And what's interesting is Neil was able to get 2 brothers from Fairfield, Ohio.
Oh, really?
Josiah Jackson and Jordan Jackson. Josiah has enrolled here. His brother Jordan has not enrolled. So that's interesting. But Neil's gotten some transfers in. He's gotten some transfers in.
You got my man's from Penn State.
Did get a man from Penn State who was just on my screen. Where is he? Can't find him. Can't find his name.
It's Fatuma Mulda,
There it
I
is.
think his name is. I don't know how to say his last name. But, yeah, he went to Penn State and went to my high school.
He's a 3-star. He also got a guy from Cole Taylor from LSU, who's a tight end, which will be big because here, I'm going to say this. This is what WVU needs to do next year, and then we can gladly move on to a different subject if we want. Mm-hmm. Next season, what Chad Scott needs to do with this offense is it's obviously going to be a run-heavy offense. We know that. Mm-hmm. But you also need to make a passing game to your tight end.
Yeah.
And that's why he's going to bring in Cole Taylor. Cole Taylor is 6'7", 280 pounds. Listen, now that'd be a beast right there. 228 pounds, 3-star coming from LSU. I mean, what else can you ask, really?
I mean, still, it might have been a low-end, SEC, prospect, but still, that's an SEC prospect.
Yeah. And then he's also got the guy from Kent State as well coming in. But then he also got Devin Carter, a wide receiver from the portal from NC State, which will be pretty big, I think. So he still needs to add, I think, a couple more wide receiver, and I'm sure he will. Neil knows what he's doing when it comes to recruiting. At least I hope so. Because these past couple seasons we've seen it's still kind of Dana's team, Dana Holgerson's recruits in a way. So I'm hoping that this next season is his full recruit, and hey, it works out. Watch, Neil Brown's going to go win a national championship next year, and this time next year we're going to be sitting here still talking about the Mountaineers winning the national championship. That'd be great. It's not going to happen, but I really wish so.
WVU versus Georgia.
Now, when the 12-team playoff comes along, they then have a chance to really, they have a chance because all you need to do is get into the top 12.
Well, to be fair,
it's probably not going to win.
No, but hey, playoff appearance for Neil Brown. That's all.
We need to make a bowl first. That's first on the checklist. There.
I think this coming season he'll go 6-6 or
7-5.
7-5. Make a bowl game. Because you're in the Big 12, it's hard to win games. I mean, for any just like basketball,
I mean, yeah. I mean, Big 12 games for football are usually pretty high scoring.
Yeah.
Baylor was an absolute shootout.
Baylor's always a shootout.
What was the final of that game? It was in the 40s.
When Geno Smith played here, that Baylor game was a shootout. That game was nuts. I remember watching that on TV as a little kid. Where's my phone? I almost grabbed Griffin's phone.
My phone's right there.
I'm just checking, making sure I'm not missing anything crazy. So yeah, Neil Brown's he's got some things changing for him. So we'll see what happens with Neil. Another thing though is, I've shown you, and you all have seen clips I've shown you. There's a guy who plays at the high school I'm from, Mondrell Dean. He's a 3-star linebacker, but he can really play any position. Mm-hmm. He had gotten offers from. I thought I had it pulled up, but then I clicked on something else.
You said it was a bunch of D1 schools.
Yeah, it's a bunch of D1 schools. Mondrell, there it is. Oh, wow, they actually just, okay.
They updated
there's a new article on him.
Oh, okay. Breaking news here on the PRT Boys podcast.
So he's got offers from Cincinnati, Miami of Ohio, Marshall, Central Michigan, Jacksonville State. I believe that is it for him. Let me look. Now I can. Okay, here we go. So he has got offers from. He has visited West Virginia's camp. Marshall offered Cincinnati, Central Michigan, Miami of Ohio, Jacksonville State, and then yesterday a new development. Purdue has sent him an offer. Mm-hmm. Now, if Purdue's offering him, a lot of WVU fans are very upset. Why is Neil not offering him? Mm-hmm. I don't have an answer to what is Neil's motive. Neil should offer him. The kid's a stud. The kid can play football, and he can play any position. Whichever one of these colleges that he's going to get is going to get one heck of an athlete. Now, he's visited Marshall, Miami of Ohio, and Jacksonville State. They have just put on 24/7 Sports that he is set to take a visit to Purdue. Not sure when that's going to be because he is playing high school basketball right now. So that's obviously going to have to, he's going to have to conflict. But Purdue, that's a pretty big offer for him. So I feel like maybe within the coming days, maybe Neil sends him an offer. But West Virginia kids always get swept under the rug. But then they always end up being the big athletes. For an example, Darnell Wright. Don't know if you've all heard of him. He's a lineman at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of him.
Who is like the top lineman prospect in the NFL draft. He's from Huntington, West Virginia. They get swept under the rug. And Neil Brown should recruit out of the state. He could easily get recruits, but he doesn't, and that's why Dana got pushed out. Really, So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
If I may, the only counter that I would have to that Neil Brown's defense, the only thing that I can think of is that he may not actually work for his style of coaching. Like, yes, he might be a phenomenal athlete, and I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just saying that Neil Brown has his style of coaching, but he just may not work for his style.
I can agree with that on a little bit, but at the same time, you can't. With the recruiting and the transfer portal nowadays, you cannot play that way.
Oh, no.
You got to take who you can get.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, Mondrell's going to go to Purdue and he's going to tear it up.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
No, like I said, I'm not defending Neil Brown. I think he's actually stupid for not doing anything like that, or for at least giving out at least an offer of some sort, or at least like a campus offer. I got you. But that's the only thing I can think of that would go through Neil Brown's head. Yeah,
and I doubt he goes. Mondrell won't go to Cincinnati because Luke Fickle's the coach that offered him. Luke's not there, so.
Luke is not there?
Luke is not there.
He is in Wisconsin.
He is at Wisconsin. Which I wouldn't be surprised if now that Purdue's thrown in the mix, I wouldn't be surprised if Luke Fickle sees that and throws his name in the mix at Wisconsin, because that is his competition. I wouldn't be surprised there at all. But, yeah, WVU sports, man, we're really rough. Maybe it's the PRT boys. Maybe we should just shut them down. Maybe it's us.
It makes me angry.
It is what it is.
You're looking at the future drafting guys for WVU football?
Dude, I have no answers. I got no answers to the basketball team
either.
either.
Can we move on to something positive, like the pros?
Not yet.
What's up next?
Huh?
What's up next, Quinn?
I'm going back to college basketball.
We were just there.
I know.
We're going back?
Yeah, we went from WVU to WVU football. Now I'm going back.
See, we should have started with football, and then we should have went to WVU basketball, and then went
that's
to
how it was on my.
Grand
That's how it is on my agenda, and I read it wrong. I'm sorry.
You messed it up.
I did, but that's okay.
It's not.
It's okay. Other matchups around the country tonight in college basketball. Xavier and UConn. That may be a good one. Actually, that one comes on in like 15 minutes. I'll turn that one on Fox Sports 1 here in a minute.
After they stop talking about the Sixers,
you can't even hear them.
You
can't even hear. The Sixers and Nets play tonight, for those of you all wondering.
Go Sixers!
Joel Embiid. Andy, I'm going to need you to move your head.
Joel Embiid going to put up. Joel Embiid putting up 45 tonight.
Yeah, so number 13 Xavier and number 19 Connecticut play tonight. That'd be a good game. Number 3 Houston plays UCF. That one's another one that could really turn.
You think?
Yeah.
You think UCF has a chance?
Dude, have you seen the stuff that's gone on the past 2 weeks with college basketball?
Have you seen the spread for that game is Houston by 9.5. I bet you Houston covers.
Oh, Houston definitely covers, maybe, but I also would not be surprised if UCF,
I would be.
Wow. The Volunteers are big ones over Georgia. 16.5.
Big
so those are the games there. The games tomorrow night.
Let's see here.
Florida Atlantic is ranked? What the heck?
They are.
Yeah.
They're 9-0 in Conference USA.
Dang. Wow. Ain't no one's in Conference USA anymore. Marshall left.
Well, FAU only has one loss in the season. That was against Ole Miss at the beginning of the season.
And was it a blowout or was it close?
80-67.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's 13. It's not bad.
But they've beaten every other team they've played. They beat UAB, who we beat.
Good for them.
They beat.
Good for them. Yeah, really.
Yeah, good for them.
Another team that started off really hot, Marshall, 17-4, best start since the 1980s for Marshall.
Best start since the 80s.
That's pretty good.
USC and UCLA played.
Now, granted, the Sun Belt doesn't really have good basketball schools. Well, Louisiana Lafayette is 16-4 as well. Marshall right now is projected to win the Sun Belt right now. So that'd be pretty sweet. The last time Marshall made the NCAA tournament, fun fact, they actually got beat by WVU in the round of 32.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? But guess where they played? San Diego.
That makes 0 sense.
Right? It's so upsetting.
Well, because they were the worst of their seeds, so they got.
I remember getting pulled out of school because Marshall played first, and then WVU played right after. So my dad pulled me out of school. We went to my house and watched it. That was That was pretty big. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool moment watching both those teams play. Marshall got destroyed by WVU. I mean, absolutely demolished. But hey, it is what it is. So yeah, Marshall's looking good in the Sun Belt right now. So they play tomorrow night against Louisiana Monroe. They're currently 15.5 favorites. Wow, to win that one. So yeah, let's look at bracketology. Let's go.
Let's look at bracketology. Joe Lenardi?
Mr. Joe Lenardi. Bracket watch. Top overall seed is Purdue, who the Mountaineers faced and actually did not look that bad against. That's another prime example as they just need to get over the hump because they looked really good against Purdue.
I definitely do agree that Purdue's the best team in the country.
I agree as well. They just need to get over the hump, and that's what is so... Why is Xavier's logo like that? Oh, is it like a throwback night for them?
Yeah.
Okay.
That looks like an old
First team out, Oklahoma, who WVU just lost to. It's interesting. And Griffin, the last team in. It's your Penn State.
How about that?
Nittany Lions.
They had just lost. They're going to get kicked out. They had a bad loss yesterday.
On the bubble, the last 4 byes, Boise State, Maryland, and Pittsburgh, Ohio State. Last 4 in, Arizona State, Northwestern Kentucky, Penn State. First 4 out. This one breaks my heart. Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, the West Virginia Mountaineers, USC. The next 4 out are Nevada, Utah State, Florida, and Wake Forest.
We got to get some wins. We got to get back in there.
I feel like if we really win tonight, which is really weird, you win tonight, you're back in it. Genuinely, you're back in it, which is so weird to say, sitting at 1-7 in conference play, but that's true. You win tonight, you're right back in this thing.
And you got to get that. You got to get that out of conference win against Auburn.
You got to get that out of conference. You get that out of conference win against Auburn. You're looking really good because
that's
your
like
wins.
icing on the cake there, really.
I mean, you're looking really, really good. So let's see, Joe Lenardi. Who does he got over here? The Birmingham. He's got Alabama as a 1 seed. Okay.
I would definitely put them as a 1 seed.
Yeah, I would too.
Who does Alabama play during the SEC Challenge? Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Be a great football game.
Be a great game. Joe Lenardi has Marshall in as a 13 seed, squaring off against Xavier. That's in Albany, New York. And do you know who else they'd play if they won that? Duke. Marshall against Duke.
I mean, Duke is not Duke.
I was going to say, Duke has been in a slump as
Purdue
recent.
and Columbus. Not bad there.
Duke's not even ranked.
No, they're not.
No, they're pretty bad. Mm-hmm. They're pretty rough.
Which is surprising.
Michigan State plays Purdue on Sunday. That should be decent.
Where's it at?
There's only 2 really good basketball games on Sunday, and they're both at noon because they don't want to compete with football.
Where's it at? The game.
The Michigan State Purdue game's at Purdue, and then Providence plays Villanova. Providence is better than Villanova this year, which no one thought before.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. These games can really go anywhere. Really.
Texas plays Tennessee, I think, on Friday.
I mean...
No, not Friday. They played...
The Big 12 has 8 teams right now in Joe Lenardi's thing.
Oh, okay.
8 teams? That's crazy. I mean, the Big 10 has 10, so...
I think the Big 10 just has better records right now, but I think it's indisputable that the best conference in basketball is Big 12.
100%. I don't know. So it's going to be interesting. We'll come back every week and actually look at Joe Lenardi's bracket here. But
you should read his book. It's a good book.
But I do agree, though, with this. Oklahoma is definitely the first team out. Last team in, I can see that as Penn State. Purdue is definitely the top overall seed. And I feel like it will only choose to stay that way. Yeah, that's pretty much it for college basketball. So,
I think that's about it, really. We don't have any other glaring.
Griffin?
No.
Your Eagles, man.
What about them?
They looked really, really rough against those Giants, didn't they?
Oh, they looked terrible.
They looked terrible.
What was the final?
That'd be 38-7 Eagles. Absolutely obliterated them. You know, I was worried all week. I was hyperventilating in the car back from Pittsburgh about the game. I was so upset.
He was threatening to not appear on this week's podcast. That was the only reason I wanted the Giants to not be on or to win was because I wanted to hold you to not being on the podcast this week.
I wouldn't have gone.
Could you imagine it was just you and me, Quinn?
No, the Eagles looked good against a Giants team who I thought would at least put up a decent fight, which they didn't.
Like TCU, Georgia.
They really didn't. A team, though, that did put up a fight that I'm really surprised about, Jacksonville. Jacksonville put up a fight that
They did.
I mean, it just.
Granted, it took them to put up a
again.
fight and have Mahomes hurt to do so. But
The Bengals beat the Bills. That game was awful. That game was
that's
miserable to
heartbreaking
watch.
for the Bills.
it was a very disappointing divisional weekend.
It was very disappointing. The Cowboys 49ers game was good.
No, I didn't enjoy it.
I thought that game was good.
And I was rooting against the Cowboys. I didn't really enjoy it.
No, I thought that was good. The Eagles definitely they got a test though.
Now I enjoyed the hell out of that game. Let me tell you. I mean, from start to finish, it was just domination.
They definitely have a test with Brock Purdy.
They do.
It seems like no one knows how to stop him, and I don't know what it is. First 2 games, it's like okay, the guy's new, but now it's like teams should start to pick up on him. But it's like Kyle Shanahan.
It's really going to go.
This
This is what the game's going to come down to. It's going to come down to how does each quarterback respond to these top 1 and 2 defenses.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, granted, like the defenses have to perform, the offenses have to perform, but it's really a matter of how Brock Purdy responds to the Eagles' pressure and how does Jalen Hurts respond to the Niners' pressure. The difference maker, I think, isn't necessarily the skill of Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy, even though I think Jalen Hurts second place in MVP, and that's pretty much indisputable. But if you look at the O-lines, that's the difference maker. Now, granted, no one's really getting to Brock Purdy either, but no one is getting to Jalen Hurts.
I don't want to make a pick on this game
Neither
due
do.
to
I'm not
due to the fact of it can go either way. Because Brock Purdy has looked very good. Kyle Shanahan seems to change up his playbook every week. And Brock Purdy, they do these play action stuff to the tight end.
Here's what I'll say about that game. Go Eagles.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
I mean, hey, it's your team. You know?
I know you're rooting for the Eagles.
I don't care who wins. Honestly.
What's that mean?
I don't care who wins these games.
Why?
The Steelers aren't in it, dude. I could care
Pennsylvania
less.
teams. I always root for the Steelers.
No, I mean, I could see that, but I just want the Chiefs to win. I don't want the Bengals. Actually, no. I do want the Bengals in the Super Bowl. And here's why. Because we beat them week 1. So then I'd be like, we beat the Super Bowl champs. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
and also,
you know what'd be better than beating the Super Bowl champs? Being.
Hey, kudos to you. You all win. I'm happy for you. But I'm just saying, it is going to be very hard this week. Brock Purdy
It's gonna
looks
be hard.
good.
I'm not
Defense for
I'm
San
not
Francisco
discrediting
is...
these Niners at all. I'm not.
No, I think... And here's what is crazy to me. I saw a report where they were like, Jimmy Garoppolo would be good to go this week for the NFC Championship game. Why would you put him in if Brock Purdy's, 7-0 now?
He hasn't lost.
Why would you do that? I'm sorry. It shouldn't even be up to discussion of who's going to be your starter next year. Brock Purdy he already won that job. I don't care that you drafted Trey Lance. He's a bust. Let him go. Jimmy Garoppolo?
I wouldn't call him a bust yet. He just hasn't had the opportunity to play.
I'd let him go.
I'd let him go too.
I'd let him go.
I would not call him a bust.
Let him go to a different team. Jimmy Garoppolo, you keep him as a backup because he's a solid backup. He was a solid backup behind Tom Brady.
You could get good trade value for Lance. Honestly.
Yeah, you easily could. But you got to start Brock Purdy next year. The guy's 7-0, and these teams that he's beating are not the easy teams. You know what I mean?
No, they're not.
So for him to keep you all in contention and that you're here, you should be thankful for. And with that, you should reward Brock Purdy with the starting job. Now, next game, AFC, Bengals, Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is good to go, which is insane to me because that ankle sprain is not anything to mess around with, and it hurts. Mm-hmm. So anytime you sprain your ankle, it hurts.
Well, if you sprain anything, it hurts.
And so he's gonna play on this. And here's the thing this is gonna come down to. And Griff, you can tell me if I'm wrong.
Let's hear it.
Both the Bengals offensive line has got to block. This year, they have had such a hard time blocking.
Here's the
Week
thing.
1 against the Steelers, they did not block T.J. Watt. They could not stop Minka Fitzpatrick. They could not stop Alex Highsmith.
I think the Bengals are going to persevere over the Chiefs. I do not think, regardless of who the Bengals play in the Super Bowl, I don't think the line's going to be able to handle the pressure of either the Niners or the Eagles.
I don't know. This game is going to be close, as in the line is even. That's how close it's going to be. I would not be surprised if this one goes into overtime and comes down to the last second. I would not be surprised. And let me say, Joe Burrow may be the cockiest quarterback I've ever seen in my life. He's earned it. Gosh darn it, he backs it up.
He can back it up.
The guy backs it up.
Who's humble? Jalen Hurts is humble.
Okay, but Jalen Hurts is humble because because everyone thought he was about to be the biggest bust of his life, of the
They
NFL
were
ever,
wrong.
because the guy went from Alabama, took him to the national championship, then absolutely sucked in the national championship game, got benched for Tua Tagovailoa, then went to Oklahoma.
Nope, you forgot when he won the SEC championship the year after.
He won the SEC championship the year after, but I'm just saying his college career was a little rocky.
It totally was.
Not saying anything bad about Jalen Hurts.
But then Then he finally had a consistent. He had the same offense for 2 years.
Yeah.
For the first time since he was in high school. I mean.
Yeah.
Like.
No, these games are interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with these teams. I mean, it can go either way.
That's my opinion. I don't know. I mean, Joe Burrow is an extremely talented quarterback, and honestly, the fact that he took down Josh Allen and the Bills sort of breaks my heart a little bit, because I kind of wanted to see the Bills sort of go on and go to the Super Bowl on the back of
For DeMar.
Yeah, pretty much. And the fact that DeMar was in attendance at the game sort of breaks my heart a little bit more, but it seemed that like Josh Allen and Joe Burrow had a moment before the game, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know. I just feel like if the Bengals went on to win the Super Bowl, it would feel a little bit better for Bills fans that they lost to nothing but the best. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it just something like that would be a lot better. But at the same time, the 49ers to say that they're bad or they're looking not or no. They're playing not the Niners. They're playing the Chiefs. They do have a very tough opponent in Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. But I don't know. It should be a coin toss.
So I'm reading an email from Anissa
Oh, fair enough.
Who's Anissa?
from the radio
From the
station.
radio station.
Oh. Go Eagles. Go Eagles. We gotta do it.
She's starting some like sportscast thing. I'll read it later.
The Eagles gotta do it. The Eagles gotta do it.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the NFL. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see. I'm going out on a limb here. I'm just going to add this because we still have a little time to talk. The McDonald's All-American list got released. Griffin, did you see it?
Well, yeah, I saw Bronny.
Yeah. I'm trying to find what I had earlier where it should be.
Well,
like,
you said all of them.
All of it, yeah.
Except
so, of course, Bronny James is the headline. I mean, good God, it's Bronny James. So here's the roster. Come on. Don't be like this. Don't be like this.
Come on, Mac.
Oh,
Mac from NASCAR, or not NASCAR.
there we go.
Cars.
I can zoom
There
in.
you go.
Oh my gosh. I can't read that. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here, folks.
This is a very slow episode of the PRT Boys podcast.
Yeah, we're really just trying to get in the slim of things here because,
Talk about the NBA for a minute.
well, I'm going to after this, but I'm really just trying to get this. Oh my gosh.
Good going about the NHL for a sec.
I mean, hey,
Chris Letang.
Chris Letang last night. I know you all probably don't want it, but I mean, come on.
I mean, still.
The dude comes back from a stroke, puts up 4 goals. Come on, Griff. You can't tell me that's not.
I'm sorry. That is nothing but respect for Chris Letang.
It's fine.
Here we go. So here's how the rosters look for the East. Just some guys out there. You got, Xavier Booker. He's going to Michigan State. You do have, this is interesting. You got a couple guys that are going to the G League on here as well. That are going straight to the G League.
Do you think Bronny's actually gonna be a good pro?
Yeah, I think if he sits and develops at Ohio State, because that's where he's going. I mean, we're not stupid.
Can you imagine just all these hints dropping that he's going to Ohio State, then he just goes to I don't know,
I mean, he's got to go to Ohio State. I mean, he's going to Ohio State.
the
Could you imagine? He pulls some crazy stuff. It's like, West Virginia.
yeah,
Dude,
that's
This place would go nuts.
yeah.
This place would go nuts because not only do you have Jose Perez returning next year, not returning, playing next year for us.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. LeBron would just be great. That's what we.
It's not happening.
It's not happening because
He does that thing.
we didn't
like,
even offer him, but
he does that thing that like.
that's a foul and a half.
What the?
Oh.
Oh jeez.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. Watching the Connecticut Xavier game. 5. Is it 5-0, Andy? Yeah, 5-0.
5-0.
Yeah. Bronny's headlining the McDonald's All-American game. That's pretty much it. So the PJ Store. Good grief. PJ Tour kicked off today. Griffin, have you seen anything?
I haven't checked.
Tony Finau looked pretty awful. Tony Finau looked pretty rough today. Yeah, he looked really, really rough today. Poor guy. Right now, Sam Ryder leads at 8 under par. Brendan Steele at 7 under par. Those are kind of the top 2 guys. Garrett Higo, a fellow lefty, is at 6 under par. Colin Morikawa is at 5 under par. He's currently finished on the day. Who is not finished? Justin Thomas is 4 under, 6 with 16 through. So PGA Tour, it's really starting to kick off now at the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines in La Jolla, California.
Some just changed.
At the top.
No, I was looking at the scores and.
I see it.
Some just changed. I don't know what it was.
Aaron Ray and Brent Grant just moved up to 7 under. Griffin, early season picks to win the FedEx Cup.
You gotta look at Scotty Scheffler still.
Got to look at Scotty Scheffler. Got to look at John Rahm, who's currently number 1 in the world.
Rory, always Rory.
Rory's always in the mix.
But with Roy, he falls into a deep hole. And then the last 3 tournaments of the year, he digs himself out and then goes on to win it.
See, Rory will do this thing where like he will always like have a slump between like I would say probably like January and then like whenever August. I was going to say whenever the Masters are. No, is it August or April? April. And then he'll slump there and then something will click, and then he just goes on and wins, like, a major or 2.
Rory needs to win a Masters.
Yes, he does. And I was heartbroken the one year when he almost had the season Grand Slam. And then, as we all know, a man by the name of Jordan Spieth came back and pretty much snatched the jacket out of his hands, which I thought was a little, heartbreaking. But still, yeah, you can never count Rory out. Colin Morikawa also, he's not doing, he's tied for 9th. 5 under for the day, or for the round, I think. But he's shown to be pretty decent as well. So he's also not out of the question.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's interesting. We can obviously talk about that more as the season goes on, but the sports, this is kind of the dead part of the sports. Pretty much college basketball, NBA. NBA you can't really talk about much right now. We can talk soon. We can start talking because the trade deadline's coming up. Mm-hmm. So soon we can start talking about that. NHL is the same way. There's not much to really say. We can talk next week because the All-Star break is coming up. So then that's kind of the mid-season point. We can then talk, hey, here's what these... So next week we'll talk more NHL.
This is where the storylines pretty much start.
Yeah.
Really.
So, this is a shorter episode today, but that's kind of what we wanted. As we're going to sit here in about 20 minutes, WVU squares off against Texas Tech. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's episode.
A slower episode, but...
Yeah, next week's episode will most likely be recorded on Thursday. Today we just wanted to get an episode out there.
Unless the Eagles lose, I'm not going.
Well, then you just won't be on it.
Okay.
We're going to do one without you.
Do it.
Yeah, not the world doesn't revolve around Griffin.
Shake on it right now.
No, because I know that's what he's going to do if the Eagles lose. I'm not.
Shake on it right now.
The dude's not going to class at all next week.
Shake on it right now.
No, it's not that I won't go to class. I just won't go Monday.
I mean, to be fair, we do have an 8:30 class, so
Nah, that's grounds by itself.
Ugh, it's so rough, man.
yeah.
It's so rough. It's all right.
We've had a rough couple of weeks.
We'll be all right.
Yeah. Anyways.
But either way, so that's gonna end today's episode.
Oh, no hoops, no NBA.
Did you not just hear me?
Wait.
We're gonna talk about. We'll
Sixers
start talking about them
exist.
because
Okay.
the trade deadline's coming up. So then that's
True.
the buzz. Because there's
Sixers are coming back. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Like
so
I said, the
we'll see what
Sixers
happens. So hopefully we can come on here next week and be like, Eric Stevenson had a great game against Texas Tech, and
Or we could be like, he sucked.
that's probably what we're leaning towards. But anyways, that's gonna end today's episode of the PRT Boys podcast. Griffin, good luck to you and the Eagles.
Thank you very much.
And
I'm gonna need
Eddie,
it.
just good luck in life, man.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, we'll see you all next week when we hit. We do this. Maybe I have to do it Tuesday because of my schedule. I gotta
will
get.
be here. I know.
Camden will be here, so it's either gonna be Tuesday
miss
or
Camden.
Thursday. We'll figure it out, but it depends on what my schedule is looking like. Because I'm going home on Friday because I have to go back home for an event. So we'll figure all of it out and we'll see what happens. But thank you all for listening. Tune in on YouTube, PRT Boys, and keep tuning in here on Spotify. And yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in to. Is this episode 13?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, what are we up to?
Episode 13
Episode
of the
13.
PRT Boys podcast. We're almost at 15. Oh boy.
Oh god.
I'll let you play it. All right, that's it. Cut it off.
Yeah.
All right, let you play it for a little bit
That's fair.
because you get your shot.
Yeah.
So thank you again for tuning in to the PRT Boys podcast. We're gonna get off of here as in 20 minutes the Mountaineers tip off against the Red Raiders. So we will see you all next week. Yeah, go Ears.
Yay!